Hello, my mindful adventures. It is Wednesday, at least the Wednesday that I'm dropping this YouTube video. I'm gonna get buzzed by a bunch of flies. There's a lot of flies over here, and there's stuff moving back here, and my dog's over there, so he might bark. Just a heads up. Okay, so this week we're gonna be talking about boundaries, all about boundaries. That's what this week, the second week of the self month, is. And we'll be talking about all the boundary stuff. Okay, so what it looks like when you don't have boundaries, it looks like saying yes to things that you really don't want to say yes to. Like, let's say like someone, let's say this one person, right? This one person probably could think of this one person as I'm describing this situation. A person comes to you, this person comes to you, and they always come to you, right? And they don't seem to ever go to anybody else, but they always come to you, and they always ask you to do this one thing. This one thing they always ask you to do every single time. You don't know why they ask you every single time, and they just come and ask you, and you're like, bro, why do you come and ask me this every single time in your mind? But then in reality, you're like, oh yeah, 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 I'll do it, I'll do it, and then you end up being like, I really didn't want to do that. I really didn't want to do that. Or it could be, say at work and you have to clean up, because almost every part of every single like work environment, there's some form of cleaning up that has to be done. So let's say like you always get stuck doing like cleaning like the whole facility, or like cleaning like the office, or cleaning like everybody's stuff, and every single day your coworkers are just like, okay, see you guys, see ya, and then it's just you, and then you have to clean everything, because if you don't clean everything, everyone's gonna get written up. There's gonna be a whole thing, and it's gonna be hell to pay, basically. So you clean up every single time. Or it could be like a family member, right? Maybe the first one's a family member, but it could be a family member, and like, somebody who comes up to you and they'd be like, hey, can you watch my kid? Can you watch my child? And you're like, don't you have like a babysitter, or like someone else you can ask? Like, I gotta go. I'm going out with the girls. I'm going out with the guys. Like, we're going out this tonight, and you dropped off your kids just now without warning and saying bye. I'm going out. Like, can you watch my kids? And then you're like, thinking this all in your head, but then in reality, you're like, yeah, I'll take your kids. Like, yeah. And then you call up your friends and be like, hey, something came up. I got to stay here. And it's like every weekend this happens. You never go out to see your friends. You never go out to do these things, right? So things like that. Like, that is what it looks like when you have no boundaries. Like, isn't that exhausting? Like, isn't that just like so gross? Like, I don't even use this word like that, but like, they're gonna give you the ick. Like, ugh. Like, why do I gotta keep giving up my shit so other people could be happy? Right? And that could be what you're literally thinking, point blank, in your mind. Like, why do I have to do this to make other people happy, or to satisfy someone else, or to do something that you know that they can do, or that someone else that they know that they could ask to help them do it, but they ask you because you never say no? That is part of no boundaries. And like, it's not even just saying no. Like, it could literally just being like deciding not to like show up and do something. Like when you go, like, let's say you like to go out and you like to party, but you don't like to drink, but you always find yourself drinking, and you don't stop yourself. Like, that is another, like, aside from addiction, um that's another form of boundaries. Like, tell yourself, like, I decided I'm coming here to have fun, to dance, to enjoy people, and I don't need to come here and drink every single time I come out. Like, that's just that. You don't have to do that. Like, you can go to a bar and get like water or juice or something. Like, you don't have to drink, and you can hang out with people, just fuck with the vibe. I used to do that sometimes when I was living in Wisconsin. If you know, you know. But yeah, so that's like, those are just like some outward forms of like not having boundaries. So like, the reasons why you don't really have boundaries, like, we weren't really taught like as kids, hey, say no to things that you feel dread, or you feel like you don't want to do. And some people, it's like, yeah, if you don't want to do something, say no. But like, they don't go into details of like why we're saying no, or like how it's really protecting and you're like loving yourself through this action of setting these boundaries. So like, when you're sitting there and you're like, when you're thinking about these things, the things we just talked about, you're thinking about them, and you're like, maybe it keeps you up at night or something, or you're like, you're just not focused. Like sometimes I can't focus on something unless I've like thought something completely through. Like sometimes I have to like finish a thought. Um, so like, and you're sitting there and you're trying to like focus, and you're like thinking like, man, I really didn't like how Sally like, I don't like she drops her kids off at my house. Like I want to like I I want to be able to say no and like feel good about it, but you're not taught that is it's okay to say no to friends and family or people you've known for a long time, because you've probably seen your parents not do that. Probably seen your parents bend over backwards for their parents, for their cousins, for their aunts, uncles, those types of people, or their bosses, or coworkers, and you think like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to do it, and in reality, no. They also, your parents, your caregiver, also did not have firm, solid boundaries that protected them, their peace, their energy, and their space. And what you need to realize is like, now that you're an adult or old enough to realize, hey, I need to have some boundaries. Of course, if you're like a teenager and you don't want to do like take out the trash or something, or whatever, that's a different, responsibilities, chores, that's a different thing. Like even as an adult, you got to take out your own trash, you got to handle your shit. You can't just let the shit pile up, and then next thing you know, you got a fucking infestation of something: roaches, rats, mice, bugs, flies. You got to take care of your shit. So aside from teenagers not wanting to pay attention to their parents or not wanting to like at least learn some valuable things, like realize and if you are a teenager, like maybe you have friends and you realize like, hey, I don't like when so and so does this. Tell them. So and don't be afraid. Like, and the thing is like, and like, I'm not teachers, okay, if you're a teenager. I just think of myself like all the teenage things, like all the teenagers I can watch this and be like, oh, I can just tell somebody that I don't want it out. There's people we still need to pay attention to. Like we're not out of the house yet. We're not making our own money. Like we're not like self-sustainable. You know what I mean? But if you are, then of course. Um, Except for the teachers thing. I mean, you still need to go to school, or maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. Okay, whatever. I digress. My stupid rabbit hole. It's not stupid. It's just a random rabbit hole. Okay, so like, aside from being a teenager, but like, being an adult, and you realize like, hey, like I don't really think like my parents really had boundaries, or like my family members, I didn't really see that like really showed up in my life. Like I didn't really like there wasn't people in my life that really displayed like proper boundaries, or like how to like protect yourself or protect your energy from like things that you don't want to be around. It can be people. Like I have some people that I've cut out of my life, and some people that have just fallen out of my life because I've been like, hey, I don't like when you do X, Y, and Z, and I don't like this thing, and then they just disappear, and it's like, okay, that's it sounds awful, but at the same time, it's like, well, if they don't want to show up and they don't want to like do the work to not be a dickwad or to use up your time, space, energy, then let them go. Let them be. Just let them, out of your life. There's no reason to sit there and be like, oh, but we're best friends. We've known each other for 20 years. No. Who cares? Because if they can't respect you, like that just shows a lot. Like you don't have respect for yourself, really, because if you respected yourself, if you respected who you were, then you wouldn't let people walk all over you like that. Like that's just not something that you would allow them to do, because you have those boundaries in place. You know what you will and will not tolerate. Truly, boundaries are what you will and will not tolerate. And some people tolerate a lot of things thinking that that's what they're supposed to be doing, even though they don't realize it's draining them. Like when you go to a situation and you leave and you feel like, like, you feel like you just ran a marathon and you were only at some place or with somebody for 10 minutes. That's a big indication that you need to set up boundaries. Like, take time away from that person, or like tell them, like, hey, I don't like when you X, Y, and Z. Like, I had someone in my life who would always constantly come to me and they would like basically gossip and complain about other people. And I'd just be like, I don't like when you do that. That is not something that I want to be around. And they were good for a little bit, and then they started doing it again. And I was like, hey, like, I don't like when you do that. Like, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about what you did today. What did you eat? Like, that kind of stuff. Like, get the topic off of that. But they refuse to listen to what I have to say, and then on top of that, they wanted me to do all this stuff for them, or they wanted me to do exactly what they wanted to do, and if I didn't do it, they would call me names and say I'm like a bad person and all this shit, and it's like, no, like at that point I was like, I'm not talking to this person, like, blocking your number. I'm not talking to you. Like, I have other people who know you who will inform me about you, so I don't need to like sit here and put myself around that and be around that and really like be in that. So like, like what do you like, just like, it's okay. Like, you're okay, right? Cuz you're going to get like pushback when you start creating these boundaries, when you start telling people, "Hey, I don't like when you do this. Hey, I don't want to spend all this time with you," because you don't even have to explain it. It's just like, "Hey, I don't want to spend all this time. I have all this stuff I got to do." Or you can be like, I mean, and not even just like lying or saying excuses, just be like straight up, because like there's probably other things you'd rather do, like instead of talking to I don't know, fucking Tom. Sorry if your name's Tom, or if your name was Susie from earlier, Sally. I don't remember what I used. Like, you can just be like, hey, Tom. I actually wanted to do like a self care thing, and they're like, "Oh, would you never do that? You always hang out with me. We always do X, Y, and Z." That's not your problem. First and foremost, just realize that when if they start saying that. Also, if they're saying that, there might be more problems you gotta deal with. So taking time away from them will help you develop and understand and really like think about the relationship and what you have with that person and be like, oh, yeah, that person really is an energy vampire. Like, they suck it out of me. Like, I'm just trying to like live my life. I'm trying to like be happy. I'm trying to like do things for myself, because if you're watching this video and you care about yourself and you're trying to like learn better ways to love and take care of yourself, then take care for yourself twice. You're trying to like learn, and develop, then you're going to realize that there are things you got to do, and they're going to seem selfish at first, but then you realize really what you're doing is preserving yourself. You're preserving yourself for things that you rather would do. And the whole point, and what I think the whole point of living is to do more of what you enjoy doing, what you like to do, things that you like can see yourself doing, not things that you dread to do, or hanging out with people you dread to, or being at places you dread to be at. Like, if you have any form of dread, if your body's like, if you realize that you're extra tired after something, or talking to somebody, or hearing someone's name, or hearing about a specific place, or going to a specific place, or doing certain things, then you realize like that is when you need to start setting boundaries. That is when you need to start realizing, like, hey, what I'm going through, the things that I am doing, like, yeah, the things that I'm doing, the things that I'm tolerating, that I really don't want to tolerate, or that I genuinely don't tolerate, but I just do because I want to be nice. I'm sorry, but nice is bullshit. Like, you don't, being nice is being a doormat, right? Being kind is showing up with love and respect, and realizing when you need to tell somebody how it is. And by how it is, I'm not telling you cuss them out, call them out of their name, like disrespect them. But I mean, like, when you're like, hey, especially if you notice, if there's someone like you notice a product, like a specific pattern. Let's say this person like knows. I'm just gonna go back to drinking because it's just a great example. Like, somebody who drinks, and they like, it's one beer, and then next thing you know, they're down a whole 30 rack, and you're like, bro, I thought you said you weren't gonna drink tonight, because you know that they get crazy and they do like hold my beer type shit. Like, like, when you notice things like that, and be like, hey, especially if it's someone you care about, someone you really want to, because like drinking, especially, like, that's no joke on the body. Like, it's literally poison. You're ingesting poison. I'm not saying I don't drink every now and then, but I'm just saying, like, alcohol is actually fucking poison. That's why it just orientates us. And like, alcohol poisoning that's why it's so dangerous, especially if you can't get it out of your system and clear it out. But anyway, aside from the medical talk, but it's someone you really care about, and they keep telling you, hey, I'm only going to drink a couple beers tonight, and they end up drinking like 30, 40 beers. Like, I'm not saying like they're doing, maybe they are doing this every night, and maybe they have a serious problem, and you're like, hey, I noticed that you're doing this, and I really want you to like not hurt yourself. Like, you say you're gonna do this, like, can I keep you accountable? Like, let me help you. And they might see it as like you killing their joy. And in reality, you're like, I love this person. I care about them. And it's not selfish. Like, think of it that way, right? So, like, in the same way that you would look out for someone else, right? And you like make sure that they're being safe, that they're taking not taking advantage, but well, I mean, they might be taking advantage of the situation, but like so that they're not like being negative towards themselves and others. It's the same way for yourself. Like, you're telling yourself, like, hey, like, I notice that when you go over there and you talk to Tom or Sally or Susie or whoever, I notice that you feel like shit. Maybe you should spend a little less time with them, or maybe you shouldn't do all these activities with them because you realize, like, it doesn't do you any good. It's not doing you any good. And so what you need to realize is setting these boundaries are also going to piss people off. Like I said earlier, like Tom, the example with Tom getting mad at you. Well, you never do this, you never do that, you always. First of all, why are we using absolutes? Because I'm pretty sure there were times you were sick and Tom understood. Unless Tom, like I said, there's other underlying shit you need to deal with. Besides just boundaries, like, that's person. For me, I don't want that person in my life. That's um but like there is like a time, like, you want to you might want to cut that person out of your life because of what they may be doing, because that's just a possibility. That could be a thing that you need to do because they keep disrespecting you, just like that person I told you about earlier that I cut out of my life, because they kept disrespecting me, because they kept doing these awful, honestly god awful things to me, that I'm just like, are saying these things, and like, words do fucking hurt. I'm sorry, if you grew up your whole life and you thought, like, seriously words didn't hurt, like, I don't know where you've been. You must have been living under a rock or something, because sometimes people just say the meanest things, and then, like, it really hurts you. It really doesn't do you any good. I think that was a kestrel. Anyway, so, like, there's times where you do need to cut people out. I'm not saying immediately cut everybody out. Like, express your boundaries with them. If they don't seem to understand and they keep crossing them, that's when you need to cut them out. That's when you need to step away. And like, and it's not just people. Like I said, it's things, places, like, um, behaviors, things that you may be doing. Like, you know, wean yourself off of it, especially if it's like something like super serious. Like, it's like, you're addicted, obviously go find help if there's an addiction, or you think that there may be addiction. And it could be anything. There's a lot of, like, rehab centers that do a lot of things besides just drug and alcohol addiction. Like, there's other types of addictions, and you can you will be able to find help. I know that you will, like, because you're a capable person. You were able to click on this video and learn something about boundaries, even if it's like a little everywhere. My thoughts are just jumbled today. Um, but yeah, so, like, when you, like, when you are enforcing these boundaries, they're not like walls, and they're not there to bully anybody or to tell people what to do or to control anything. Like, you're controlling the space around you, but you're not like, you're controlling yourself, really, because you're not tolerating certain things, but you're not controlling other people. You're not bullying other people. You're not telling people what to do. You're just telling people what you do and do not tolerate, which can feel selfish, like I said earlier, but it's really not. Like I said, it's really a major form of self-love and self-care. And it's important that you realize that you're just loving yourself. And other people, like I said with Tom, may get upset. They may be like, would you never do that? And it's like, okay, but this is what I'm doing now because I want to have a better life, because I want to show up for myself in a better way. I want to do something for myself that I've never done before, because I feel like I need to do something different. Something needs to change, Tom. And it's me. I need to change. I need to change what I'm doing. I need to change what I let in and out of my life, what I consume. Consuming is not just eating and drinking, right? It's not just eating and drinking. It's also what you see, what you hear, things that you say as well. Anything like thoughts. If you really sit there and take time to, like, think about, like, to like really take in your thoughts, that's another form of consumption. They may not be you, but if you're taking them in as you, then you're consuming them. And if those thoughts are dark and negative, guess what? You're taking in that dark and negative energy. And that goes for other people, anybody. Like, your words have power, your thoughts have power. You need to acknowledge that and realize when there's things that are going on that you do not need to or want to take part of, or you need to like step away from. And that's a part of setting boundaries with yourself. And it may seem difficult at first, but just doing the littlest things every day can help. And same thing with dealing with anything else. The littlest things every day to make those boundaries more tangible, to make them more realized, right? To make them more how do I say? I guess to just like really create them so that they're not solid, but they're strong boundaries. And like I really say, like, your boundaries need to be fluid. Like, think of it kind of like ice, right? So like, you can make it like hard, like ice, like sturdy, and then you can also melt it. So because like sometimes, as you not sometimes, the only constant is change, Jamila. When we like change and we're like going through changes, like, we may be able to tolerate more, or may be able to tolerate different things at different stages. So sometimes you need those strong, like, like boundaries, like, hey, I will not. And then later it'd be like, okay, I can do a little bit of that, or like I can do whatever. But I'm not saying like compromise. If your body is still telling you, hell no, we won't go, then you need to be like, yes, yes, we will not go. We will not do that. We will not do that thing, because you don't need to be doing that thing, right? Or talking to those people or going to those places. Um, but yeah, you need to be able to change them, because there's going to be times where you're like, oh, I can actually tolerate this a little bit more or not. And your boundaries can change every day. I don't know about you, but not every single day I have is the best day of my life. Some days are more difficult than others. Some days I'm like stressed as fuck. Some days I'm like happy, I'm excited, like I'm like, woo! But like, that's not every day. Just to be honest, it'd be great to have amazing feelings every single day, all day, every single day, 24/7 without fail. But I am a human. I feel things. I go through things. I talk to people. I have emotions that I have to deal with, just like you have to deal with them, And every day my boundaries are a little different. Some days I really don't. I don't have a high like social battery where I feel like I really don't want to talk to people. And other days I'm like, I want to talk to everybody. Like, I'm totally fine with everybody. Like, everybody, and it's still different every day. And same thing, like, as time goes on, and as you're like, building yourself and growing yourself and learning to love yourself different ways, you're building these types of relationships. There is a beautiful, I don't know if you can see the lightning bug. Um, but yeah, so boundaries don't they're not walls, all right? They're not walls, cinder block walls that cannot be changed. Not saying that those, I mean, wind and rain can definitely erode them after time, but they're not like cinder block walls, metal walls, they're not, whatever. They're things, they're just, like I said, what you will and will not tolerate. They're not a castle fortress. You block everybody out, you know unless those people, you need to cut them off, then, block those people out. But the other people that you love and you care about, you're not blocking everybody out. And it's healthy to like have relationships with other people. And I mean, of course, if you really truly like don't feel like that's your path, then that's your path. That's fine. I understand. I really do. I understand a period of isolation when you need to be on your own and dealing with your own shit. Because every now and then you just gotta have that. And I definitely experienced that myself. Recently I've had a couple isolation periods of my own. But anywho, back to yeah. So when you do enforce these boundaries, and they are hard, like I said, and you will feel some type of way. Like, there's no way you're not gonna feel. I mean, maybe you'll feel it for like 2 seconds or whatever, and you'll be like, oh. But sometimes it's like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have. Just stick to your guns. Don't back down. Don't compromise. Like I said earlier, like don't compromise. Um, stay with it, stay the course, because you never know how it's going to work out. Like maybe you'll be like maybe it takes a week and then you see the fruit of your labor and you're like, wow, I could have been doing that this whole time. I could have had all this time to do this. What? You know, like sometimes you just don't know until you like go and like do the thing you got to do. Or not do the thing, but you don't know until you've done the thing, like setting the boundary, expressing yourself, and like just doing what you got to do. And after a while, that negative feeling that you feel, if you do feel a negative feeling, it'll start to go away. It'll start to lessen because you realize, like, I'm showing up for myself. I'm doing what I know I need to do and what I feel is right for me, because you got to do what you got to do, right? Like, no one's going to do this for you. And if they do come and help you with it, you still got to be a part of your own help. You can't just expect someone to do all the heavy lifting for you. Like, that's not fair. Straight up. That's just not fair. Yeah. So at the end of the day, boundaries are the best things for you. Like, really, at the end of the day, year, month, year, minute, second, boundaries are your best friends. They are there to help keep your energy safe. They're there to keep you safe. They're there to encourage more growth, honestly, and opportunity for you. And they don't always benefit everybody. That's just how it is. And caveat: if you got kids, right, you need to take care of them kids. Like, you can't just expect them to, whatever. And if you got teenagers, like I was talking about teenagers earlier, maybe you got a teenager, and then maybe they feel like what I explained earlier in the video. Maybe they feel that way. Like, mom's telling me, or dad's telling me, or grandma, whoever, auntie, um, whatever, they're telling me that I gotta do this and I don't want to do it. Like, maybe, teach them, teach them what you've learned, so that when they do get older, they're able to, excuse me, do that for themselves. Um, and also, like I said, if you have kids, or people that depend on you, like maybe you take care of a parent, or maybe you take care of another adult in your family that they can't take care of themselves, or they're to like the full capacity. Excuse me. That's just water. I'm just burping. Then you need to definitely take care of business and, like, have boundaries with that too. But if you need to take care of somebody, you need to take care of somebody. Maybe you can get some help, and like find some help if you need time to rest. Because you also need like to realize when you need a rest too. Like, being a parent, I don't have kids. I can't really like say this from a point of like completely knowing, but I do know that like parents need breaks too. Caregivers need breaks too. You can't just go 100% all the time every day. Like, it's just not possible. Like I said earlier, I can't be happy and excited all the time. Like, I sometimes I have days where I'm just like, I'm excited and stuff on my own, but like I don't want to like be around other people because it's just not what I feel like. So like, yeah, you need, if you need rest, get rest. If you need help, get help. Like, resources are available, people there. I'm pretty sure there's other people that you can, help them, that help them. Well, that can help them help you. Yeah. um so yeah, just, take time to like learn how to say no to things you don't want to say yes to. If it's a hell, if it's not a hell fucking yes and you feel excited about it and you're like, let's do it, then it's probably a hell no. you know um so definitely think about that, and take time to think about all the things that suck that energy out of you, or that just make you feel like, ugh, you know in your own body, and then work from there, and then you can start building some solid boundaries, some good boundaries, and learn how, they ebb and flow through your day, through your week, through your month, through just your emotions in general. So there's lightning over there. So yeah, yeah, I hope you guys found this valuable. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And of course, if you want more details and in-depth details, then go read the blog post. I have it in the link. I have it linked. Yes, I have it linked in the description below. And I hope you guys like and share this video with people who may want to watch this video or may want to just know more about boundaries. I know this is like a general overview. It seemed pretty chaotic. I don't know if it actually was because sometimes I'll start talking and I kind of I let my soul talk, I let my spirit talk, and sometimes I feel like my mind isn't always completely here when that happens. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys, subscribe and hit that bell so you get notifications for when I'm coming out with new videos. I will be dropping another video this week. It's a little skit. I'm excited. Um, so yeah, I love you guys, and I hope that you guys I hope you guys really found some value in this. It's getting dark out here, and I need to go inside. I love you guys. See ya.